The ratings are in for the latest episode of AEW Collision on TNT, and it's delivered the second best audience for the show ever in its short time run on the network. However, one of the lowest key demo ratings. Details on that, plus Roosh has officially re-signed with All Elite Wrestling. We've got a backstage update on how that came to be, and has CM Punk teased that he could be the latest to join the AEW Collision roster. An update on Kota Abushis status for AEW All In at London's Wembley Stadium. Dave Meltzer says there might be merchandise issues at Wembley for AEW for the All In event. Details on that, plus Brandon Cutler reveals why he wasn't a part of the Blackpool Combat Club vs Elite storyline. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of All Elite Wrestling. Let's start off talking about the ratings for the latest episode of AEW Collision on TNT, and a really interesting change when it comes to viewership as well as key demographic numbers for the show on TNT on Saturday nights. Now, Saturday's July 22nd episode of AEW Collision averaged 618,000 viewers on TNT and scored a 0.18 rating in the key 18 to 49 demographic, most values by advertisers. Now, this is quite interesting because viewership was up significantly, actually drawing the second best audience that AEW has done on Saturday nights on TNT thus far, but the key demographic number, the 18 to 49 demographic, was actually down. So if we compare this to the first 5 weeks, and this was the 6th episode, so the first 5 weeks, and compare actually the Collision over the first 6 weeks, obviously the first episode, episode 1, did 816,000 viewers. Now, since then, they've done the likes of 595,000, 452,000, 580,000, 579,000, whereas this week's episode did 618,000. Again, the second best viewership number overall since the premiere episode from the United Center. But when it comes to the key demographic, it's actually the second worst key demo that they've done. The first episode obviously did the strongest, a 0.33 rating. From there you had a 0.21, a 0.13, a 0.21, a 0.20, and this week for episode 6, a 0.18. So what do you make of this? Why has the viewership gone up but the key demographic gone down? Why has the audience gotten older, and was the viewership base up because of the finish of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament final between Ricky Starks and CM Punk the week prior? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. Now, of course, Collision saw the House of Black successfully defend their AEW World Trios Championships against the Acclaimed. This, of course, was a rematch from their match at Double or Nothing on May 28, which also had the champions retain. The match result was not completely unexpected, but it was the events that transpired after the match that certainly got people talking. WWE Hall of Famer Billy Gunn removed his wrestling boots after the match and placed them in the middle of the ring, which is customarily a sign that the wrestler is retiring. The Acclaimed tried to talk with Gunn, but he pushed them away and walked backstage. It would seem that Gunn had signaled his retirement from wrestling, but of course it all could be a storyline. Many people pointing out that Malachi Black had whispered something in the ear of Daddy Ass before he decided to leave his boots in the ring. Now, when it comes to the big angle of the show, the big storyline of the show, seemingly at the moment, is Ricky Starks and CM Punk. Of course, a notable highlight from the episode was the match between CM Punk and Darby Allin against Christian Cage and Ricky Starks. The episode blurred the lines on if Ricky Starks is a heel or not. On the July 15 episode of AEW Collision, he defeated CM Punk by using the ropes to cheat to win in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament finals. Starks had a promo segment to address cheating to beat Punk and shared he did what he had to do to win. However, he played like a babyface to the crowd during the promo. This then led to CM Punk interrupting the promo, claiming that Starks couldn't defeat him without breaking the rules. In the subsequent tag match, Starks used the ropes once again to pin Darby Allin to win the match and once again have people questioning his character. The end of the episode could be setting up a feud between CM Punk and Absolute Ricky Starks. Based on YouTube viewership, fans are most interested in the CM Punk and Starks program from the episode. Their segment and tag match highlights have a combined over 800,000 views, with each video individually being more viewed than anything else from the entire show. Of course, this week's episode of AEW Collision will be very interesting, as FTR will be defending their AEW World Tag Team Championships against Adam Cole and MJF. The unlikely duo of Cole and MJF have been entertaining and one of AEW's hottest storylines and hottest acts recently, so it's going to be certainly interesting to see if they can pull off an upset in some people's eyes and take the AEW World Tag Team Championships from the current champions this weekend. So what are your thoughts on the viewership? What are your thoughts on the ratings? And what do you think the pattern is going to be for AEW Collision moving forward when it comes to these viewership numbers and the key demographic? Let me know your thoughts, your opinions in the comment section below. Let's talk about Rush, because Rush has put an end to recent speculation about his future plans. He put them to rest on Monday night when he revealed that he had signed a brand new contract with All Elite Wrestling. Quote, "I started a new chapter in my personal and professional career. People doubted I could make it. Today, I want to say that I'm 100% AEW, Rush wrote on Twitter. Thank you, Tony Khan, and thank you, fans, and thank my LFI brothers. We can now rule the wrestling world." The tweet was accompanied by a video of Rush signing his new contract and then embracing the AEW president Tony Khan, who was shown also signing it and inking the deal. Rush reportedly signed a one-year deal with AEW in 2022 and made his in-ring debut for the company in last June's Royal Rampage match. As a result, Rush's contract was expected to end sometime around this summer. Rush has not wrestled a match in AEW since May. Between then and now, the two-time former Ring of Honor World Champion was embroiled in a controversy over his appearance at AAA's Triple Mania Tijuana event earlier this month. He had announced that he had quit working for the promotion ahead of an announced tag team match that pitted him against LA Park, against Psycho Clown and Sam Adonis. So it was quite a strange one, and in the end, of course, it did happen. He reached an agreement to work the show. The match went on as scheduled. He teamed up with LA Park to face Psycho Clown and Sam Adonis. Rush also welcomed a newborn daughter into his family this summer too. As far as a bit of backstage update on this deal and how it's come together, as I mentioned, it was revealed yesterday that Rush had signed a new deal with AEW. While the terms of the new contract were not released, according to Wrestling Observer Radio, Tony Khan is aiming to lock up desired talent to fresh multi-year deals. The Luchador had attracted interest from both WWE and AEW after he controversially quit working for AAA. However, AEW made the better offer in order to keep him. Rush, as I mentioned, had been previously operating under a one-year deal, a choice that he opted for in order to prove himself. Video of Rush signing his contract made its way to social media, as I mentioned. So it's going to be really interesting to see now how he's utilized moving forward. But it would appear, as far as the details, they haven't been confirmed right now, but it would appear that he has signed a new multi-year deal with All Elite Wrestling, so he's going to be sticking around at least for the foreseeable future. Now, part of the question when it comes to Rush now is, what show is he going to primarily be appearing on? Is it going to be AEW Dynamite, or is it going to be AEW Collision? Well, CM Punk, the head honcho, I guess, of AEW Collision, certainly the main event talent, the show that it's the guy that the show's booked around, wants Rush to be a member of AEW Collision. The questions regarding the future of Rush and All Elite Wrestling were put to bed on Monday when the former Ring of Honor World Champion revealed he had re-signed with the company. He shared the announcement, as I mentioned, alongside a video of him and Tony Khan signing his new contract. With Rush's future now set, the question about when and where he may return is all that remains, and CM Punk seems sure to have called dibs on the Mexican star. Punk shared the video of Rush re-signing with AEW to his Instagram story, where he branded El Toro Blanco a Collider, his nickname used for members of the Collision roster. Andrade El Idolo returned to AEW on the debut episode of AEW Collision and has been involved in a feud with the House of Black since his return to the company. With Andrade being outnumbered, many believe the story is leading to the reformation of Los Faction Ingobernables and a Trios Championship match against the House of Black. Of course, this coming Saturday on AEW Collision, Andrade and House of Black's Buddy Matthews are set for a ladder match with Andrade's mask being on the line, so maybe we'll actually see Rush be involved in that match this coming weekend. But CM Punk, maybe as he spoiled that Rush is going to be a Collider and going to be a member of the AEW Collision roster. A bit of an update when it comes to Kota Ibushi. Of course, Ibushi made his AEW debut at Blood and Guts last week, but we didn't get an all-elite graphic, and we don't know if he's ever going to be coming back. Now, of course, last week was a momentous occasion for AEW, as not only did the promotion hold their third Blood and Guts match on AEW Dynamite, but it also featured the AEW debut of Kota Ibushi. And while Kenny Omega alluded to more Ibushi appearances in AEW following the match, nothing had been set in stone regarding when the former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion's next appearance would be. The latest Wrestling Observer Radio, however, seemed to suggest that All In could be Ibushi's next big AEW show, stating that Ibushi believed that, quote, he's going to the Wembley show. Should Abushis appear at All In on August 27, it's likely he would once again be involved with Omega, his longtime tag team partner, who recruited him to team with the Elite against Konosuke Takeshita, Pac, and the Blackpool Combat Club. With the Elite's issues with the BCC now seemingly concluded, it's expected that Omega will turn his attention to Takeshita and Don Callis, who betrayed him in May and have continued to target him ever since, while Callis has teamed forming a new family to destroy Omega and the Elite. Merch issues. Of all of this excitement about AEW All In, the expectation is they're going to have, obviously, the record attendance, the highest gate they've ever had at a pro wrestling event in the short history of the company. So one would expect they're going to sell a ton of merchandise at the event. Well, Dave Meltzer has shared some worries about how smoothly that could all happen at Wembley Stadium in London. Of course, next month, All Elite Wrestling will hold its biggest show in the company's 4-year history of AEW All In, taking place in London, England at Wembley Stadium. Appearing on the Maguire on Wrestling podcast, wrestling journalist Dave Meltzer discussed one issue that could cost them dearly at next month's big show. Quote, "I hear it at every show. It's like people go to the show, they want to buy merch, the lines are ridiculously long, and the selection is not as big as people want," Meltzer said. "They usually have one merchandise stand. WWE has multiple, and I know when I go to concerts, there's multiple. It's an issue without a doubt." The Wrestling Observer writer then laid out his expectations on how the company should perform at All In. They should do $2.5 million or more in merchandise, and I don't think they will because I don't think they have the selection to do it. And I don't think that they'll have enough stands, Meltzer continued. The lines will be too ridiculous. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what they should do. The wrestling journalist pointed out that WWE visited Wembley Stadium 30 years ago for SummerSlam, doing around $1.5 million in merchandise sales. Accounting for inflation, Meltzer indicated that AEW ideally should be able to move as much as $3.5 million. If the company underperforms in merchandise sales, they stand to lose out on millions of possible dollars. Another obstacle AEW must overcome in getting merchandise to London, AEW works with a company called Pro Wrestling Tees, which is based out of Chicago, Illinois, to make its clothing. It remains to be seen if the company will find a London-based partner to make merch for the show or opt to ship over its stock from the United States to sell for the event. So is this actually going to be an issue for AEW at the event, or is this Dave Meltzer just speculating that it could become a problem? Let me know your thoughts about that too in the comment section below. Finally, Brandon Cutler has opened up why he wasn't that featured in the Blackpool Combat Club versus Elite storyline. It looks as though the feud between the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club has come to an end following last week's Blood and Guts match, with the two groups shaking hands after a hard-fought confrontation in the cage. However, there were two performers who were no longer part of the feud by the end, that being Brandon Cutler and Michael Nakazawa. During a recent appearance on the Comedy Store Wrestling podcast, Cutler revealed that the reason why that was the case. Quote, "In all honesty, that was an idea I had for that angle," Cutler said regarding the BCC members John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli brutally beating down himself and Nakazawa, effectively writing them out of the storyline. Cutler explained that he knew they were building towards a 5-on-5 match for Blood and Guts and found himself and Nakazawa often watching awkwardly as their friends got beat down. "I was always standing outside of the ring with a camera and I was like, should I get hit or should I fight at all or should I just stand there and record this?" Cutler continued. "After a couple of those, I was like, yeah, maybe me and Nakazawa should get taken out for this angle. So I threw that idea out there to work to the wind to everyone." Cutler pitched the idea that the BCC would assault himself and Nakazawa just as they previously had Hangman Adam Page and Don Callis, in addition to adding further fuel to the flames between the two groups. It would also serve as a way to explain why Cutler and Nakazawa can't help their friends. Both sides agreed, and from there everyone involved started brainstorming ideas on what Moxley and Castagnoli could do to Cutler and Nakazawa. In the end, the Elite members put up a fight but got stomped out, marking their last television appearance to date. So there you go, guys. That's the latest AEW news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.